Imagine having only one purpose, to restore humanity back to dragons and men. Well, that's what I did, because I survived 100 days in a land full of dragons. With dragons and dangers like the Fire Nation and Shadow Nation armies, I set myself with 4 objectives. 1. Save as much dragons as I can. 2. Manage to get a Night Fury and a Light Fury and level them up to 100. 3. Build up a new Isle of Berk to call home. And 4. Finally kill the wild-bred dragon. Day 1, I started out with a satchel, but before I explored it, what it had, I punched a tree. I got myself basic wooden tools and chopped down more trees. Thanks to the falling trees mod, it made chopping down trees even more easier and fun. When I had gotten my wooden pickaxe, I mined some stone and got myself some stone tools. Night fell pretty quick and I don't know why. I guess I spent too much time chopping wood. On the night of day 1, I came across a village. Now this village was just huge, and I checked out a few houses and I got some great beginner items. I found 3 bows, 14 arrows, an iron sword, and an iron axe. How much sweeter could life get? I also found lots of food, great armor and great mining tools, and an iron horse armor for when we get a horse. I got some coal for when we smelt some ores or make some torches. And on seeing this waste stone, I activated it so that I could teleport at ease. I found more food, and at this time as well, I started to hear zombies outside. I found more iron armor, and I totally did not steal a bed. And on exploring the village further, I found plenty of wheat. And with that, I crafted some bread to help me keep well nourished in future days. And this now became day 2 and I was doing pretty good so far. Well, I almost got blown up by a creeper, but I ran away and found a suitable little empty house for me to live in for the present. I placed my bed and first thing I did was made myself a shield, converted all the hay bales to wheat and traded some wheat in for an emerald. Crafting my chest, I took a good look at myself and decided these 2 villages needed a name. I eventually decided on Bill and Stan. Now I took this time to sort out my inventory. Things were going really well for me. And now I was going to open my satchel. Here goes nothing. I opened it up and no way I had gotten the legendary Stormcutter egg. Now if you haven't watched the movies of How to Train Your Dragon, then go watch it now. No, just kidding. If you haven't watched them, then let me inform you that this is a rare egg. Well, to me at least. The Stormcutter dragon belonged to Valka, who was a headstrong leader supporting the well-being of dragons, while also being Hiccup, the main character's mom. So yeah, I love this dragon and I was going to hatch it. The only problem was, and yeah, there was a problem, I had to have an incubator, a lava one for this egg. And I needed 8 obsidian and a bucket of lava. And to mine obsidian, you didn't have to be a genius to know that you needed to have diamonds. So that's what I started to do. I found a good place to dig and I dug pretty far. On day 2, that's what I literally did. And when day 3 struck, I was still mining, but I had found a huge ravine and a cave. Now, I didn't find any diamonds. Did I expect to find diamonds down there? Nah, probably not. But what I did find was greater for now. I found lots of iron ore and I found dragon fossils. How crazy was that? And now for purely entertainment purposes, here's some Minecraft ASMR. Once I finished mining, I got outside and ran into my house. I crafted some sugar and then torches and lit up my place. I got myself 2 furnaces and started to smelt my 35 iron ores. I wanted to be fast on it, so I split up the ores and started to smelt them with the other furnace. As they were smelting, I crafted 2 iron picks and a bucket. And then of course I decided that I needed 1 more furnace. I needed to make an armor stand, so I put in some cobble to smelt and I crafted some good polished materials. And when I got my stone smelted, I crafted it into stone slabs. and crafted my armor stand, and for now I put my iron chest plate there on display. I needed to save up chest space. On the night of day 3, I thought about going back into the mines again to try my luck with finding lots of ores. I was really careful at this and I managed to get down carefully. And here I found gold as well. Sweet! I found lots of coal and bit more iron ore. And then some more gold and dragon fossils. And right in the middle of the lava pool, I found redstone. Now, usually, I don't find redstone that easily, so I was pretty pleased with myself. I found a bit more gold and loads more redstones, but no diamonds, just yet. I got myself out of the lava pool and explored another section of this ravine. And I found that there was a skeleton spawner. And when I play Minecraft, I don't usually find spawners, so this was great. I was excited to see what laid in the chest. Before lots of skeletons could spawn, I mined the spawner and killed a skeleton that came after me. Now there were 2 chests. And I found a bucket and a few more ingots and a music disc. I also found a saddle in the other chest, so that was great. Though I didn't think I would need it since my mode of transport would be purely dragons. Now I thought it was about time I got out of my cave and did some real exploring. I walked a bit and cut down some trees, and when I was just minding my own business, I saw these creatures. They looked like lizards and definitely did not look like dragons. I walked up to them slowly.
You have chosen your fate to live near these lands, newcomer. Be wary of yourself. Danger lurks everywhere.
Wait, what do you mean? I urged the lizards to talk, but they didn't, so I left. I also knew that night was falling, so I went back to my cozy little home, cooked some pork chops, smelted some iron and gold, made an even large chest, and stored all my valuables. Look how much redstone I had found. Now that was crazy. I even made myself a note block. Life was going pretty great, and I was going to ignore what the lizard had said. Things were going good so far. I slept, and that brought me into glorious day number 5. On day 5, I started to explore around my area, and I almost got killed by a menacing baby zombie and a crab who almost pinched me to death. I also found some more iron ore and coal, and before long I went to the desert and look what I found. I found a rainbow dragon. It was just so gorgeous. I climbed up the hill to look at it closely and I approached it carefully as well.
Ah, stranger to lands, I have heard of your arrival here. You are the dragon's only hope to restore the act of kindness between us and men.
I have heard of the troubles between the 2 kinds, but what can I do?
That is up to you. You must do what you can.
And just like that, the dragon flew off and I knew that I had to do something to save their kind. On walking further, I saw this lizard-like creature. It was holding a shield and a sword, and it looked like it did a ton of damage. I approached it carefully and attacked it. It was coming for me slowly in the water.
You will not hear the end of us. The rule of the Gypin Empire will live forever.
What is the Gypin Empire? Tell me now.
Why don't you find out for yourself?
The lizard wasn't giving me much needed information, so I killed him, and he dropped a key, a desert dungeon key. Whatever the Gypin Empire was, they meant serious trouble, and I wondered now if it had anything to do with dragons and men. Now night was falling fast, and I killed some cows for their meat and leather. But it was then when I noticed this. It looked like some form of meteorite that had fallen from the sky. I heard a roar of a dragon, and it was the rainbow dragon I had talked to earlier.
Save yourself.
But before I knew it, things became dark, and these one-eyed aliens attacked me. I killed one of them, and the whole group of aliens came for me. I tried my best to fend them off, but I was caught in a moment of desperation and trouble. I ran away as best as I could and even swam in the water, but they came for me and I got rid of them one by one. At this moment, I wondered if I could use parts of a meteorite for good use, and I was right. They were used to make powerful weapons. I wanted to get some meteorites so badly, so I ran closer and tried to get some. However, it was as tough as mining obsidian, and I knew I needed diamond. Without wasting any more time, I started to head back home. I encountered a few zombies and then I saw this guy.
The Shadow Nation's presence grows stronger. You silly human, you cannot run from us.
The Shadow Nation? What are you? I managed to axe him down, and that is when he dropped a key. I knew I had to get back to safety. I went back home and slept the night away. Before heading out to explore further, I smelted some iron, cooked some beef, and kept away some of my items, like the dungeon keys. And as soon as I had food, I set off into the desert again, hoping to find more dragons, creatures, and landmarks. Maybe they could shed some light on what I had to do. And on my walk, I saw lots of those lizard creatures, but they didn't bother to talk, so I left them alone. Wait, hold up. What in the world is that? I walked towards the cave and it wasn't a cave at all. It was a desert dungeon and I didn't have the keys. So I went back home, grabbed the keys and headed into the dungeon. It was cold, dark and really eerie. I moved on slowly in the water and these bugs just attacked me. They came out of nowhere. I heard more of them everywhere and they came out of hiding one by one. Then I chose a path, and big mistake, it was a zombified mummy. Feel the wrath of the desert. I was poisoned and running low on help, but I managed to kill the mummy and gather the dropped key. It was a heavy door key, and after a while, I found the door. This place is giving me the creeps. I opened the door and attacked the bugs that came for me. This was purely madness.
You are no match for the Gaitan Empire. Leave now.
But I didn't leave. I was going to fire my bow. I killed all the monsters with my arrows that I had gathered and explored the place from top to bottom. When I found a key on the ground, I used it to open the heavy door and open the chest. Oh my god, there's diamonds here. And yes, that was just what I was looking for. I killed another mummy and got another heavy door key. There was nothing in the room, however, so I exited the dungeon and found out that it was night. I made it back to my house and crafted my diamond pick. Day 7 was creeping just around the corner and I was going to incubate my baby dragon. In the morning, I gathered myself a bucket of water, and when I looked into the horizon, I saw the rainbow dragon fly towards me.
I've heard of your courageous fight in the dungeons, human. I also heard you fought well.
Word does travel fast. What is the Gaitan Empire?
Let me explain, but you must not let me to interrupt whatever you were doing.
Alright, if you say so.
The Gaitan Empire is made of lizard-like men who were the past enemy of dragons a long time ago. It's not only the Gaitan Empire but the Shadow Nation and Fire Nation which are mortal enemies.
Then, what do they have to do with men?
They make the humans have revenge on all the dragons. Some use dark magic and some stage acts of violence. But what's more worst is that the nations steal the eggs of dragons and breed them up to be wild creatures that eventually kill the humans.
That's terrible. What can I do to help?
You must gather as much dragon eggs as you can and save dragonkind.
And before I could ask any more questions, she was off. And right after I had the materials I needed to make the dragon incubator, I headed to my house and slept off the night. In the morning, I made my incubator and upgraded it to a tier 2. It was looking super epic already. I put in my dragon egg, but I knew that I had to find lots of buckets of lava to power up the incubator, and that is why I made extra buckets. I set off to find lava, but before I could, I got sidetracked by another dragon. It looked like a storm cutter, but I couldn't be sure, and I made up my mind to follow it. It might lead me to its nest. I walked for a long time, but I got lost and I lost the dragon. Good thing about it was that I got myself lots of lava from a lava pool, and I found these houses. I approached with caution, there was no one around, and I made sure to break all the spawners. Wow, 2 potions of fire resistance. Yep, that was right. I found loads of good items, and I began to get these magma blocks just because I thought they might look cool at my house. But before I could do anything else, I was stopped immediately by this guy.
You dare steal from the Fire Nation, you shall burn.
But before I went on anymore, I went back to my house and started incubating my baby dragon. And while it was incubating, I thought to make an underground room down in my house. Now I didn't know what I would use this for. It might be for the dragon when it was small, or it might be a lab. I didn't know. I just kept on making a small room. And when I came up, the egg had finished incubating. I slept off that day and started day 9. Wanna see me hatch my dragon? Here we go. And it was a baby girl dragon. I called her Stormy. Look how adorable it looked. I went inside to get my 5 dragon treats, and I fed her until she was level 6. She was an absolute cutie. Now the mod I was using was dragonfire, and there were these orbs that we could store our dragons in. And that's what I did to Stormy. I put her in an orb and I went to find some meat so that I could make Stormy some more dragon treats. I saw the meteorite again, and the aliens hadn't disappeared at all.
You've returned!
Before more of the aliens could spawn, I gathered as much meteorite chunks as I could, and then I ran back home. When I got back home, I crafted all my meteorite tools, and as much as I was having a great time, I wanted Stormy out of that orb. So I lit up the basement and I set Stormy free. She was asleep, but she was hungry, so I fed her some treats until she became ecstatic. I let her be for now, and I started to customize my house. I made fences and double doors, and then I slept day 9 off. Day 10 came on and I decided to do some farming. I harvested some wheat and replanted it. That is when I saw the rainbow dragon again. And before I could tell her how Stormy was doing, I saw this ferocious looking dragon, and I knew what type of dragon this was. It was a nadder, and it just killed a sheep.
There's barely any food in these lands. Dragons must do what they can to survive.
That's horrible. And that truly was. That is why I needed to build up a village, like there once was, like the Isle of Berk where Vikings used to live. I did some mining on this day, and I explored the desert a bit more. That is when I saw another storm cutter. One day, Stormy would grow up to be just like that. I walked a bit more and then I saw this. I didn't know what it was at all, but it looked like a nest. I saw lots of dragons, but I also saw some of the lizard creatures from the Gaitan Empire.
Try you will, but succeed you will not.
I will not let you steal any more dragon eggs. I killed him instantly and then went right onto the temple-like structure and broke down where there was a gold block. And then I found the egg. It was a Nightbringer. I broke all the caskets, urns and pots, and I got iron, gold and emeralds, which was really great. And I also thought some of these props might furnish my house really well. So I gathered what I could and I went back home. The first thing I did was I checked on Stormy. She was starving. I tried to give her some raw beef, but she didn't take it. And it was then when I accidentally dropped my bones. She surely ate those. Once I made sure Stormy was doing alright, I kept all my valuables in my chest and decorated the whole house. It was looking so cozy now. And I also noticed that I had another villager that I ought to name. Let's call him Pete. So while Pete and Bill kept a close eye on Stormy, I got some shut-eye. And that's it guys, that's the end of day 10. We've gone so far on this incredible journey. We've seen a few dragons, talked to them, experienced serious havoc and experienced new life. If you want to follow me along the series of how to train a dragon, then subscribe guys and turn on notifications. Also drop this video a like and a comment with your thoughts on this video. Also make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram and join us on our official Discord server. The invite link is in the description. And yes guys, that's it. I'll definitely see you in the next video. Bye bye.